Have you ever wondered what the purpose of our existence is, or what makes a life virtuous? These are the questions that have echoed through the corridors of time, lingering in the minds of those who dare to ponder the profound. They are the enigmas that have spurred great thinkers to delve into the depths of thought and reasoning. Among them, one name stands out, a beacon in the vast expanse of philosophy: Socrates. Socrates, a man of ancient Athens, found himself gripped by these enigmatic questions, grappling with them in the bustling marketplaces and the serene sanctuaries of his time. His thoughts, his questions, and his relentless pursuit of wisdom have since become the pillars of Western philosophy. His ideas continue to challenge us, prompting us to question our assumptions about life, virtue, and the very nature of knowledge. Today we will delve into the mind of one of the greatest philosophers of all time, Socrates. Born in ancient Athens, Socrates became a defining figure in Western philosophy. The son of a stonemason and a midwife, he was a self-taught philosopher who emerged during a period of profound transformation in Greek society. Socrates was unlike his contemporaries. He didn't write grand treatises or poetic verses. He engaged directly with the people, questioning their beliefs and assumptions. By doing so, he introduced a new way of thinking, a philosophical methodology that we now call the Socratic method. His approach was simple yet revolutionary. He believed in the power of questions, in their ability to expose contradictions, to challenge accepted norms, and to stimulate critical thinking. He was not interested in providing answers, but in provoking thought, in stirring the intellectual pot. This approach was not without controversy. He faced backlash from those who held on to traditional beliefs. Yet, it is this very controversy that propelled his philosophical legacy forward. Socrates' unique approach to philosophy laid the groundwork for centuries of philosophical thought. The Socratic method, Socrates' most famous contribution, was a radical departure from the traditional modes of philosophical inquiry. This method, named after the man himself, is a form of dialogue-based inquiry designed to stimulate critical thinking and to expose the contradictions in one's beliefs. It's not just a question and answer session, but rather a profound dialogue that goes deeper than surface-level conversation. The Socratic method is like a dance of questions and answers, a back-and-forth rhythm of thought and expression, where the focus isn't to win an argument, but to seek truth. Socrates believed that knowledge and virtue are one and the same, and that the key to unlocking them lies within us. He used his method to peel back the layers of assumptions and beliefs, like an onion, until the core truth was revealed. And how did he do that? With questions, lots and lots of questions. You see, Socrates didn't provide answers, but rather guided the conversation with further questions, pushing his interlocutors to examine their beliefs critically. It was a tool for self-discovery, a mirror held up to one's own ideas and assumptions. Through this process, individuals could confront their ignorance and stimulate their intellectual growth. Socrates, with his relentless questioning, aimed to achieve what we now call intellectual humility. This is the understanding that our knowledge is limited, that we don't know everything, and that's perfectly okay. It's a stepping stone to wisdom. But this method wasn't always well received. It upset many people, leading to his trial and eventual execution. Yet his method has stood the test of time. It's a testament to his belief in the power of questioning, of critical thinking, and of the pursuit of truth. From classrooms to courtrooms, the Socratic method is used as a tool to challenge assumptions, encourage critical thinking, and stimulate intellectual curiosity. It's more than just a philosophical tool, it's a way of life, a path to wisdom. The Socratic method continues to be a cornerstone in philosophical, ethical, and even legal discussions today. For Socrates, virtue was the highest form of excellence. This legendary philosopher saw virtue not as a mere trait, but as a profound state of being that transcends the mundane. For him, virtue was not about performing good acts, but about becoming a good person, embodying goodness in every thought, word, and deed. Socrates held a distinctive belief in the unity of virtue. He proposed that all virtues share a commonality, a single essence: courage, wisdom, temperance, justice. They are not disparate traits, but different expressions of the same underlying goodness. This perspective challenges us to think of virtue not as a checklist of qualities to acquire, but as a holistic way of being. The role of knowledge in Socrates' philosophy of virtue cannot be overstated. He famously stated, "Virtue is knowledge." This means that to be virtuous, one must know what is truly good and right. Ignorance, for Socrates, was the root of all evil. Thus, the pursuit of knowledge is not just an intellectual exercise, it's a moral imperative. By seeking wisdom, we strive towards virtue. Yet Socratic virtue is not about moral perfection, it's about striving, about constantly seeking to understand and embody goodness. It's a journey, not a destination, an ongoing process of self-improvement, not a static state of being. In the eyes of Socrates, a virtuous life was a life well lived. And for us, his philosophy invites a profound rethinking of what it means to live a good life. Though Socrates left no written works, his legacy lives on through the writings of his students, most notably Plato. Now we look at the lasting influence of this classical Greek philosopher who set the foundation for Western thought. Socrates' philosophy was not merely an abstract concept meant for the ivory towers of academia. No, it was a practical guide for life, a compass for moral navigation, and it has echoed through the corridors of time, inspiring generations of thinkers. From Aristotle to Nietzsche, the Socratic method of inquiry has been a key tool in the philosophical toolbox, encouraging us to question our beliefs and examine our values. The impact of Socratic teachings on Western philosophy is profound. His relentless pursuit of truth and virtue laid the groundwork for ethical philosophy, while his belief in the power of dialogue and debate birthed the democratic ideals of freedom of thought and speech. Socrates' legacy is not limited to the realm of philosophy. His teachings have permeated all aspects of society, from politics to education, shaping our worldviews and the way we approach life's most profound questions. His dialectical method has become a cornerstone of modern pedagogy, fostering critical thinking in students across the globe. So, as we stand on the shoulders of this philosophical giant, we see a world that has been profoundly shaped by his wisdom. As we continue to grapple with the questions of existence and virtue, the teachings of Socrates remain as relevant today as they were over 2 millennia ago.